All right, guys, Brad with Rolling Bones Outfitters here. It's August. Our first rifle hunt is in about 5 weeks. So we've been shooting our rifles all spring and summer, getting ready, you know, keeping fresh. But now we're going to prepare and get ready for the upcoming rifle season. So I'm going to start by cleaning my rifle. You know, at the end of the season, I disassembled everything, took the stock out, made sure the trigger was clean. But right now, I'm really just worried about the bore for the most part. So if you have a vise, that's great. Otherwise, you can utilize your tripod, put a couple books or something back here. But you want the barrel angled downhill to keep the stuff out of the action. If you're running a cheek piece, the advantage of something like this is you pop it off, and it doesn't get in your way while you're cleaning. So we're going to take this off. This is getting a little worn, torn, and tattered. That's all right. So then we're just going to clamp the gun down, and we'll get the sucker all ready for moose season. Take the bolt out. We're running an empty, make sure everything's nice and empty. First thing we're going to do is run a bore guide. I mean, there's all kinds of different bore guides. The object behind using one of these is to keep the grit and grime and the solvents out of your action. And it helps center the rod in the bore so you don't ding it up. We use a nylon coated rod. You know, I got a couple of them. They're all set up. One's got a jag, one's got a brush on it. If you're using a bronze brush like this, you got to get all the way out before you come back. You don't want to turn inside the barrel. Ours are match grade hand lap barrels, so they're nice and smooth. It's a little bit smoother than when you're running a factory barrel, so ours is going to clean up a little bit easier, and there's really not much maintenance. I don't like to clean, and it's pretty easy for us. So we got our bore guide in, and we're going to soak our patch with a little carbon remover. This is not very toxic stuff. It's easy to use. Run a patch down here, and that'll start loosening that stuff up. You let it sit for a little bit, run another patch. I usually run about 2 patches. It gets a lot of that stuff started to loosen up. And then I will start going to my brass brush. Soak that a little bit. And our thought is, I've always found that if you get the carbon out, that's the enemy for me. If I bring it down to bare steel, problem I find is I got to shoot it, and I got to start getting those little microscopic pores from the tooling that they cut the rifling in. I got to get it fouled back up. On a factory barrel, that might be 5 or 6 shots before it's ready to go again. So I really just get the carbon out, and I haven't had a problem worrying about removing copper. You can shoot a lot. And if your accuracy starts to degrade, there you see, we busted loose some of that carbon. So we'll run a couple more patches through that. Get it all clean. And I probably will go back one more time. There we go. Starting to get easier and easier to get that where we want it. I'll brush it one more time. And that bore guide is really important, so you don't get all gooped up in there. You don't want your action getting gummed up. This sucker is going to be pretty clean and good to go now. Then I'm going to disassemble my bolt. Clean it real quick and have it ready to go. Yeah, we just about got that. Run one more patch. And this thing will shoot to the same point of impact from this cleaning as it did when it was dirty. But I still go out, there, that looks nice. I still go out and shoot it before I go on a hunt, if at all possible. Nice and clean. Then I'll run, this has a little dab of oil on it, but not very much. Run a little dab of that just to get it, that metal protected. And then I run a dry patch through it. And my bore is pretty much ready to go. That's good. I'll take my bore guide out. I get a chamber mop. I run that down, clean the chamber out. The barrel is basically ready to go. The last thing I do with my barrel is just wipe it down on the outside. And one of the things that we always do is run black electrician's tape. Now we like a braked rifle because we can get back on that follow-up shot. This thing will save you more grief someday if you put a little black electrician's tape over the barrel. It protects it from getting the debris, mud, a twig. If you carry your gun up and you're walking through the trees and you jab a twig in there or something, could lead to a catastrophic failure. If you fall, I had a big fall in Alaska this year. Everything was muddy. But I keep tape on it. I run a little tape over the threads like that. And one more here, and I'm good to go. And that just blasts off. And it doesn't affect your point of aim at all. And then the other thing I do is I run a couple strips right here, just in case I shoot. And I've got it with me. I also carry some black electrician's tape in my pack always with me. But now your barrel is rock and roll ready. It is ready to go. That's clean. Our bolts are very easy to work with. Toolless bolt removal. As you can see on our rifles, the internals of the bolt, firing pin, etc., they are even Cerakoted. So they're very weather resistant. But I like to blast it, and if you want to lightly oil it, you can. If I do that, I dry it off though, or you can use some dry lubricant. When our bolt's ready to go, put that back together. A little dab of gun grease. Just put it on the back side of the lugs. You just need a little dab will do ya. I reseat it. That's ready to go. Now, the last thing I want to address is my scope. I run sunscreen, which is nice. At dusk, if you're looking into the sun, you got a shot. This helps so much I can't even describe it. But I'll just take this. I take a little cloth, just clean that. This glass is really, really high quality, and I want to keep it nice and clean. I'll do this with my binocs. Try to get everything nice and clean, my spotting scope while I'm back home. And that gun is ready for the fall hunt. I'll probably try to get out. Obviously, we're 5 weeks away. We're going to be doing a lot more shooting. But you can run hundreds of rounds usually before you need to start worrying about cleaning. At least 100 rounds through a gun like this before I'll clean it again. I don't want to clean before 100 rounds are shot. So, and you can't tell from the bench accuracy-wise. It still fires the exact point of impact. So that's how we get our guns ready for the upcoming fall hunts.